Hello and welcome to Picture Astrology. In today's video we will talk about one of the most important concepts about planetary signs, and that is Mool Trikon sign. And recently I have come across a lot of discussions both online as well as in my daily life, and through my interactions and reading of most of the modern interpretation of Mool Trikon, I find that some of the most fundamentals of Mool Trikon signs are lacking across the board. And using this video, I want to at least communicate two of the most significant things about Mool Trikon, and that is, first of all, how does the planet operate in Mool Trikon sign, and how is it different from the other dignity which is known as own sign. How does a planet behave differently from own sign to the Mool Trikon sign? And as always, we will look at some real practical example, and in fact I intend to provide you some real examples for all the important planets in Vedic astrology, and with those examples we can practically see how will be the mode of functioning of planet change when it is in own sign or it is in Mool Trikon sign. And before that, we will also look at what exactly are Mool Trikon sign, because believe it or not, from most of what I have read recently, I find that even this understanding of what really are Mool Trikon signs are a bit amiss in most of the places. But before we start with this, I will like to share with you a picture which was used by my gurus when I learnt about this concept. So this is a picture which can really form or become the foundation for learning many key concepts regarding Mool Trikon sign. And let me explain a little bit. So this is basically a Vedic horoscope chart in North Indian style, and in this chart, each of these thick border boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, there are 12 of these, represents one sign. So we have, starting from this first box, this is the sign of Aries, and then we go on to Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo and so on, all the way up to Pisces, which will be in the final box. Now this picture basically shows the regions or areas of the zodiac which are the Mool Trikon areas for different planets. So if you see the red planet, which is Mars, that has the Mool Trikon region from 0 degree of Aries to 12 degree of Aries, not the whole sign, okay? From 0 to 12 degree, that is the area which is described in all the classics as the Mool Trikon area for Mars. Rest of the sign of Aries, which is from 12 degree onwards till 30 degree onwards, is described as the own sign of Mars. And similarly, if you see second sign, Taurus, from 3 degree to 20 degrees, Taurus is the Mool Trikon of Moon. Leo, fifth sign, that is known as the Mool Trikon of Sun, but the Mool Trikon area of Sun is from 0 degree to 20 degree of this sign. And as you know, every sign is actually a 30 degree space. So out of the 30 degree, first 20 degree in the Leo is considered Mool Trikon area for Sun. The rest 10 degree is considered the own sign. Now Mercury is very complicated in that sense, because in the area of Virgo, the first 15 degree is the exaltation area for Mercury. The area between 15 to 20, just these 5 degrees are considered as Mool Trikon for Mercury, and rest of the 10 degrees are considered own sign. Similarly, Venus is Mool Trikon in only first 15 degree of Libra, Jupiter in the first 10 degree of Sagittarius, and Saturn in the first 20 degree of Aquarius. So you see, first of all, what this picture clearly shows is that then entire sign is not Mool Trikon sign. It is the area, a specific area within that sign which is considered as the Mool Trikon area. And second thing, that there are exceptions like moon. The Mool Trikon of moon entirely falls in a sign which is ruled by Venus. So it is not always that the Mool Trikon area falls in a sign owned by that planet. And before moving forward, let's look at what are the current basic understanding regarding the Mool Trikon sign and how to use them. So most people, they describe Mool Trikon by saying that, see, except the sun and moon, all other planets basically rule two signs. So Mars rule Aries and Scorpio, Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo, Venus will rule Taurus and Libra, Sagittarius and Pisces are ruled by Jupiter, and Capricorn and Aquarius are ruled by Saturn. And most people equate these two houses ruled by a planet as two different houses which a person owns. And mostly they say, okay, in one house, both of these houses are the own houses or owned by one guy, but he just loves the Mool Trikon house more than the other sign or the other area which is only called as own sign. Basically they say, okay, there are two houses, but he is more comfortable in one of the houses, and hence that is the Mool Trikon house. Yet some would say that most of the times the male sign or the odd sign becomes the Mool Trikon sign, because odd signs or male signs are inherently more stronger than the even signs. And there is obviously an exception of moon, which is Mool Trikon in Taurus, and Mercury, which is Mool Trikon in Virgo. And even though both are even sign or female signs, they would give some explanation regarding how moon and Mercury, both are more feminine signs, and therefore they tend to do well in the feminine sign, and hence they are in Mool Trikona. And after this explanation, as a practical usage of Mool Trikon sign, the most prevalent thing is, say for example, you have ascendant as Virgo or the sixth sign. In this case, the Capricorn sign will fall in the fifth house and Aquarius sign will fall in the sixth house. And as you know, fifth house is a very auspicious house, sixth house is a very inauspicious house or a trick house. So now it is described that, okay, Saturn rules both these signs, therefore both these houses, but because Mool Trikon sign of Aquarius falls in the sixth house, which is one of the negative houses, and even though Saturn or Capricorn falls in the fifth house, which is a highly positive house, but since the Mool Trikon sign of Aquarius is in a negative house, Saturn will mostly behave like a functional malefic and not like a functional benefic. Now, there obviously can be merit into this line of thought, but this is not how we were taught. If we get a planet which is ruler of a very positive and a very negative houses, we are always told that, say in this case, we are told that Saturn is a great benefic because it is the lord of fifth house, and Saturn is a big malefic because it is the lord of sixth house. So we were always asked to juxtapose this positive and negative influences together, not that you consider Saturn as a more malefic. So this was something about the current understanding which is most prevalent and how it differs from the way we were used to think. And now I'm going to share how the behavior of planet was described in Mool Trikona for me. See, now if you read any of the classic books about Vedic astrology, if you say just take BPHS, Brihat Parashar Horashastra, you will find that this concept of Mool Trikon was introduced while talking about planetary dignities. And in most of the places, many more places than otherwise, you will find the term used was only trine. Most of the time they simply say the Trikona sign of Saturn is Aquarius, or the trine area of Jupiter is Sagittarius, or the trine area of the Venus is Libra. So a lot of importance is given to the word trine. And if you think about other places in astrology and other Vedic sciences where the word trine is used, at least in astrology, trine is used for houses 1, 5, 9. And the basic theme with trine or trine houses is that they are auspicious, that they are good houses. So we were also said or told that Capricorn and Aquarius are like two houses owned by Saturn, and if you own a house, say if you are staying in your own house, then you will be carefree, right? There is no landlord, there is no owner other than yourself. So you can be just the way you want to be. So a planet can be just the way he wants to be is the own sign. But when you just be the way you want to be, or you shows your true innate nature, this will bring about both your good qualities as well as bad qualities. See, remember, everything good, bad, ugly which happens in Vedic astrology is attributed to all these 9 planets. Great things will be bring about by these planets, as well as dirty, hideous, heinous things will be bring about by these planets only. So when a planet sits in its own sign, it can bring about its good as well as bad qualities in equal measures according to other influences it has. So if you see Saturn in Aquarius or Saturn in Capricorn, because Capricorn is the own sign, then you will be able to see both the good as well as very bad qualities of Saturn. So even when Saturn is placed in Capricorn, which is the own sign of Saturn, still it is associated with things which are not neatly kept. If Saturn is an ascendant with Capricorn, there will always be a tendency for a person to be extremely lazy, even unaware about how he keep himself, or could be completely unkempt. And then there would be at other times again Saturn in Capricorn, and you can probably watch my video about Saturn in Capricorn in first house, and I must have talked about this in that video as well, that Saturn in Capricorn can be extremely lazy at times, and then they can suddenly jump to action and start working very steadfastly and surprise others really. If you have seen the lazy part, the unkempt part of Saturn in Capricorn, you wouldn't believe that the same person can actually work with all sincerity as well. It is really difficult to believe. Now that kind of extreme fluctuation from really bad to really good will not happen if Saturn is in Aquarius, and especially in the Mool Trikon sign of first 20 degrees. If Saturn is in these 20 degrees, that negative aspects of Saturn, and I am being very polite when I am describing the negative aspect of Saturn, typically Saturn in Aquarius in the first house, you will see a person who keeps himself always neat and clean and tidy, rather than that complete shocking behavior which you can see when Saturn is in Capricorn. So basically the trine signs or trine areas of sign bring about this auspicious quality of that particular planet. Similarly, if we talk about say Mercury in the own sign of Gemini is more likely to be enjoying time in gossiping, being talkative, making fun of others, being insincere. Whereas Mercury in Virgo, especially in those 5 degrees of Virgo where it is the Mool Trikon sign, these even slightly negative tendencies of Mercury, of gossips, of talking about people, etc., are very less likely to materialize. Instead, the analytical part, which is also a big attribute of Mercury, is what comes out when it is in the Mool Trikon sign. Now Jupiter in the Mool Trikon areas of first 10 degrees of Sagittarius is where a lot of knowledge, a lot of scholarly abilities of Jupiter comes out. Many times in the later half of Sagittarius, the warrior-like tendencies of the sign Sagittarius comes out. There are some other reasons for that also, which we probably talk when we discuss just the sign Sagittarius in details maybe. Similarly for Venus, the sign of Libra, especially the first 15 degrees, brings about most of the creative and artistic tendencies. Now Taurus also shows artistic and creative abilities of Venus, but in Taurus, a lot of materialistic qualities of Taurus or Venus is also likely to come about, and likely to come about easily, much easier than Libra Mool Trikon area. So things like gluttony, cupidity, avarice, etc. are more likely when Venus is in Taurus rather than when Venus is in Libra. So apart from bringing out some of the very auspicious qualities of a planet placed in these trine areas, specifically these degrees which are here on this picture which you can see, there are some other implications of Mool Trikon also, which relate to dashas of a planet. So when any planet, say not just Venus, if any planet is placed in the Mool Trikon sign or Mool Trikon area of say Libra, then that planet can have a better results when dasha of Venus operates. And this also is a very unique concept. I at least haven't seen anyone talk about this, and I'll come up with some really specific examples with charts to show this in a video hopefully soon. But I really hope all this rambling of last 15-20 minutes would have at least helped you understand, gain a new perspective on how the Mool Trikon sign are described and how they should be used. So thank you friend for being with me so far. Please do like and subscribe to my channel to continue to get more updates, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.